Alright, what is up on the U-Box guys? This is TopHat Productions 115 coming at you with yet another video. This first portion of the video is simply a test to make sure that we are connected to YouTube's ingest servers. We won't really jump into the real content of the video until I can actually confirm that we are streaming. That's just to make sure I'm not wasting time here, and that to make sure that you guys can actually see what's going on. So without further ado, I'm going to go and check in here on the main channel. After that, I'll start the update. Alright, I'm on the channel. There should be a live video streaming right about now. I'm expecting to see a live video, and yes, TXP-Network does random game stream. It says that it's online. I'm going to check the volume levels real fast. There we go. Yes, it does work. Volume appears to be at a good level, but if you guys can't hear anything, please do let me know, and I will adjust the volume levels myself to make sure that all of you people that are tuning in can hear everything. Before I go any further, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually share this video on multiple platforms to get you guys on here, so that you can actually see this live instead of having to come back and see it later. Because if you guys come and see it live right now, what I can do is I can answer your questions as I'm going through the video. And that will make things a lot easier. So first I'm going to share it on the Discord. Yeah, where is... Yeah, game stream chat. Okay, so that's on Discord. What I'm going to do now is post it in one other location, and then from there we'll start the meat of the video. In case you guys did not notice, I've changed my OBS settings just a bit. I don't really know how that's going to affect things, but hopefully it'll improve the overall quality of the video that you see, and hopefully it won't have too much of a negative performance impact, especially on the FPS that you see on the screen. All things considered, the only real way that we're going to know that is if we start testing it in games, and what better game to test it on than Destiny 2. I hear that thing scales pretty well on multi-core systems, so I guess that'll be the ultimate test for the system when the time comes, and if necessary I'll drop OBS settings a little bit so that my computer doesn't completely choke on the live stream when that day comes. But until then, yeah, we're just going to stick with the current settings. My current CPU usage is 10%, so it doesn't look too bad. I'm kind of wondering what my GPU usage is right about now. GPU usage. Yeah, GPU usage is at 20%. Okay. According to Task Manager, and OBS uses about 25%. I wonder if there's a way to actually alleviate that, but I'm not going to try to get into that in this video. I'm just here to make sure that you guys get to the live stream as quickly as possible. Okay, I've posted the status update. So that should be about all I have to do. And what I'll do is I'll go in and just start with the talking points. GLMD Grilson says I'm kind of quiet. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn up my volume just a tad bit. And I'm also going to move up towards the microphone a bit more. I'm going to talk a little bit louder. If you guys are interested, you can join the video chat, and what I'll do is I'll simply look in on the YouTube video chat and answer questions as I go along. With that said, I'm going to open the video chat right now. I wonder if I can do this from Creator Studio. What does the wrench mean? I can't hear you. Can we play cards? We can hear you better. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the YouTube stream sitting in my hand here on my tablet. I'm going to pull up the talking points, okay? GLMD Grilson, you are currently considered a live stream moderator last I checked. So I think that's the reason why you have the wrench next to your name. Besides that, I will be sure to speak louder when talking into the microphone, and I will also sit closer to the microphone so you guys can hear me, and hopefully that will all go well. And with that, yeah, I guess we can play cards sometime later this week. Can't guarantee that in the future though. We have a lot of things going on, and I will now get into the meat of the video. Currently, it is summer 2019. But as you guys can see, I haven't uploaded any videos or live streamed any videos for a few weeks now. Yeah, so instead of making this the update for a specific week, day, or month like I usually do, I'm just going to make this for the entire season. This is the summer 2019 TXP-Network update. It is meant to be an informative update, and we have a wall of text to talk about. I'm going to try to go through this as quickly as possible, but I can't really guarantee that I'm going to stay under 30 minutes. If I don't, then you understand why. There's a lot to talk about. I will try to be as concise and as on point as possible. So with that, we're just going to jump in. So here are the talking points, which are primarily just going to be talking about why I was gone for so long. First of all, I've been job hunting ever since the end of the last school semester, because of the fact that that money is needed not only for utilities and stuff around the house, but also for buying the equipment that is used to live stream to you guys and game for you guys. For example, the workstation that I'm streaming from right now is paid off by money that I made on my last job. And the money that I had from the job before that paid for the workstation that I had before that. So the Xeon X5472 workstation, the 4-core workstation, yeah, that was paid for by money that I made on my job, along with some generous contributions from community members around my area. The workstation that I have currently was pretty much funded completely by money that I made during my last job. I'm not going to go into where I worked during those last few jobs, but long story short, a lot of the things that we do here is powered off of the money that I make, not by, well, contributions from viewers primarily, because we don't make much money from contributions by viewers currently, or by users. So that's one thing clarified. We don't make much money, if anything at all, through donations. It's all being powered by me at this point. And I'll get into that little important tidbit later. I'm just going to stick a star next to that while I'm at it. Okay, and we'll come back to that later. Second of all, I've been doing scheduling for multiple appointments, including the two most important eye and dental appointments. On the point about eye appointments specifically, I now wear glasses. So congratulations, guys. My eyesight's slightly worse. It sucks. But anyway, It's not that bad. It's primarily for when I'm looking at screens for multiple hours a day, which is in preparation for my upcoming IT jobs I'll be applying for, just to protect my eye health so I don't completely screw up everything when I get out there in the field. I also have a dental appointment coming up, specifically a wisdom tooth removal. So yeah, I'll be losing all 4 of my wisdom teeth in a few weeks, specifically on the 26th. So around that time period, like the night before, I won't be doing a video because I have to prepare for that. Can't eat or drink anything, not even water, during the last few hours before the appointment. And then after the appointment, I won't really be able to talk or do much in terms of video uploads. Yeah, because my mouth will probably be... Oh, I'm just looking at the YouTube comments right now. Yeah, GLMD Greelson says, you mean where? Yes, of course I mean where. And also, I don't have any wisdom teeth. Well, that's great, GLMD Greelson. I am very happy you don't have to deal with that, because from what I've heard, wisdom teeth removal can be extremely painful, which is the major reason why during the days after the 26th, I will not be uploading or live streaming any new video that isn't already pre-recorded and prepared for you guys, because I don't really want to talk or do much with my mouth while it's healing. And also, yeah, I'm not really going to get into that. You guys already know what's involved in a wisdom tooth removal, and if you don't, then you can Google it or YouTube it, and you'll know what I mean. It's actually pretty painful during the first 3 days after the initial surgery. Besides that, we're going to jump to the next point now. We are currently upgrading. Yeah, we've been upgrading and repairing our network equipment around here for like the last few weeks now, if not the last few months. Recently, like just a few days ago, we were experiencing network issues, but the issue's been going on for like months now. And from what I can tell, it was due to our service drop box outside. I think it's called a drop box, but I'm not sure. I'm just going to call it the outside service box for now, just to be safe, until someone corrects me or gives me the proper terminology for it. So the outside service box provided to us by our ISP was replaced recently because birds just kept on building nests and stuff on there. And also just due to wear and tear, it finally started giving out. And what would happen as a result of that box being messed up was that our internet connection would just drop half the time, just randomly. And sometimes rebooting the router would work. Other times we would have to do other weird stuff like to make it work. But long story short, after a few months of the internet just cutting out randomly, it finally just stopped working altogether. Like, our internet connection dropped for 2 days straight. And during that 2 days, we decided to go in and get the service box replaced, because that was a big no-no. And we do a lot of video streaming in this house, so we kind of wanted our internet back up as soon as possible. And we successfully have gotten that working. But during that repair that was going on, we also discussed possibly replacing our primary gateway router. In other words, the router that provides internet connection to the rest of our devices in this facility. Now, I have offered to give one of my gigabit routers to the household to, I guess, help increase internet speeds and reliability, but that's still being discussed. So until then, we simply have our internet back. We don't have a gigabit connection yet by any means, but we are currently in talks on possibly getting that. The router that I'm looking at using is possibly, it's going to be a Linksys gaming router, but the gaming part isn't really important. The important part is the features and also the speed at which it works at. Aside from that, oh yeah, I just discussed the last point here, which is I purchased a gigabit router for personal use, but it may get used by the house pretty soon. So that should increase our internet service speeds and bandwidth pretty significantly, and hopefully I'll be able to improve or increase the quality of the live streams as a result, since I won't be working with megabit internet anymore. I spelled CompTIA wrong here, didn't I? Yes, I did. Okay, on to the next point. I am currently preparing for the TXP-Network Plus exam. I will be taking that exam sometime either next February or next March. And one of the primary reasons for that is because of the fact that we just got the resources for studying that to me recently, and I'm still at the very beginning of the book, and it is a heavy memorization task. That's all I'm going to say about it. I'm also preparing for my last semester of college. It is a part-time semester, and I'm going to be taking accounting. That class is a pain, so I might not be uploading or live streaming as often as I usually do during that semester when it starts late in August this year. I want to finish off the semester strong, and then once I finish off the semester, I'll have my first real degree. That will be my IT degree. That'll hopefully allow for me to get a better job so I can pay off my college loan, which will be coming up very soon. Having to pay off that college loan is a monetary issue which is going to impact a lot of other things, like hardware acquisition and purchases, seeing that a lot of my money is now being allocated to paying off this really huge loan, that of which I'm not going to disclose the amount of, but I'm pretty sure you guys understand how burdensome that can be. On a side note, pertaining to monetary issues, I currently have a job again. I'm not going to discuss where I work, but I will tell you this. I currently get $12 per hour working at this facility, and after taxes, I get around 20 to 25% of it removed, last I checked. So, yeah, I have a job again. It's around the same amount that I made at my last job, but a lot of that money is being allocated once again to school, college, paying off the loan. So not much will be changing around here. We currently have a new VPN that will be used for access to and distribution of TXP-Network services. I don't really know if I want to discuss what services will be on it. I'll probably be very brief about that in a couple seconds. Speaking of, the changes for the backend that will be powering the TXP network have changed a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up those plans now. Here we are. Here are the plans. The name of the project is Project Personal Data Center. Due to obvious reasons, this new computer, this new workstation will be acting as our data center of sorts and powering the majority of, if not all of, the services that I provide to you guys as in the users. So a lot of changes have happened. We were considering HP Enterprise hardware, but due to the form factor, we had to drop that plan. I explain everything here. If you want to, you can pause the video stream whenever you like to read the screen. I'm not going to say a lot of it out loud because I'm pretty sure that you guys can actually read this for yourselves. And I will also be posting links to this stuff in the description. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slowly scroll through this and let you guys look at it for yourselves. There are 3 plans. I'll also go on and simply show the comments underneath of the plans while I'm at it for complete information. So as you can see, we have been doing a lot of planning on this. The next slated workstation is supposed to be, and let me check the YouTube comments here real fast. Ah, Origami Cactus, you showed up. Okay, his question is, I must have missed it, but what work do you do to need all those crazy setups? Origami Cactus, we don't need all of these setups, we only need one. And what's going to happen is Plan 1's going to happen in a specific time, and then from there when Plan 1 finally becomes obsolete to the point where we can't really use it for our workloads anymore, we're going to move on to either Plan 2 or Plan 3. Plan 3 is the most likely plan that we're going to move on to. Plan 2 is not very likely, and that's just due to the cost of certain parts in the configuration. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to explain everything. The TXP-Network is an initiative that started all the way back in 2012 that's supposed to provide user-facing services such as cloud storage, search engine, etc. And we've been moving towards this initiative being a reality for years now. We had it partially figured out when we had a decent web host, but that web host, Freezoy, has gone down, and as a result we can't really host anything like we used to anymore because of the fact that since our web host is gone, we now have to pull all of our backup information off that web host and try to find either a new web host or a new way to provision those services to our users. Now, what I've learned from in the past is the fact that we don't really have that large of a user base, or at least not yet. So what I'm going to do is, since we don't have that large of a user base currently, I actually intend to host a lot of these services locally, which means that I need considerable hardware to do all of that. I intend to have, and I'm going to go in and pull up the list right here, right now. This is a really short list and an incomplete list. We're going to primarily have two services. One's going to be TXP Cloud, which will be primarily storage hosting, cloud storage, along with maybe a few other services, such as maybe SSH and stuff like that, like limited VMs maybe. But I won't get into that until much later down the line. And we'll also have TXP Go, which is going to be a small search engine. Those are the two primary services. In addition to that, we also intend to start hosting game servers, such as for modded Minecraft, and maybe a few other games. If I remember correctly, I will also be hosting a Nextcloud for my own uses as well. We'll also be hosting a Plex Media server. The Plex Media server will actually be accessible to multiple outside users because I intend to start hosting movie nights real soon, along with a few other people on our Discord server. In addition to hosting possible movie nights, I will also be using this workstation to host a lot of our large project files. So things like TXP VOS, when that project finally starts to get going again, what I'll do is instead of hosting the files for TXP VOS on Google Drive, I'll try to migrate everything over to this workstation. So what we're trying to do, and we also have a VPN running, which will allow for outside access to our services. And in addition to that, I'm trying to remember, I think, let me check here. Long story short, we're going to have multiple services being hosted off of one very powerful workstation. And in addition to all of those services being hosted by one workstation, we're also, well actually not we're, this workstation will also be hosting my own private VMs. Those VMs will be so that I don't have to manage and take care of multiple computers at the same time. Because what I currently do is I have a scattered setup that requires me to actually go around and actually check on and update multiple computers at the same time. So I have like an old MacBook Pro sitting at the other side of this room, which is technically acting as a hot box of a computer lab. I also have another MacBook for when I go outside the house, because the MacBook Pro stays here, and I also have a laptop sitting around here somewhere as well. In addition to this workstation and I believe I can call that, pretty much a test box, a test computer that is running Manjaro Linux. So that's primary workstation, Linux test box, MacBook Pro. We have around 4 or 5 different computers sitting around here that I am managing by myself. And that's not going to be a thing if this computer comes into being, because I'm going to get rid of most of the computing hardware that I have and consolidate it into one more powerful workstation. The long story short is I want to decrease the amount of hardware that I'm managing and make it so that it's all just software management. Because I'm already pretty capable of managing software installations and stuff like that. That's part of the purpose of CompTIA A+ certification training and also Network Plus. Knowing how to manage and provision services and stuff like that and making it easier by consolidating everything to one workstation would be a godsend for me instead of having to manage multiple computers. So it's really just about decreasing our technological footprint so that I don't have to do as much work to manage multiple installations. And if you're wondering what I mean by this, here are all the services and items that we will be running on the new workstation. And a lot of this stuff is already running on this current workstation. So like Simple DNS Crypt, Softy for their VPN, Chrome Desktop. Still looking into a good password manager for security reasons. I really want to up the security of this entire setup. Google Drive Sync, that's currently working on our MacBook, but that's been somewhat unreliable as of late. So I'm trying to actually move over to newer hardware to see if I can't fix that issue. Mega File Sync, I haven't done that in a very long time, just because of the fact that the hardware that I have here, I think Mega allows for, I forget how much file storage Mega allows for, but that won't really matter in a few months once I get this new workstation, because my own file storage will be self-hosted. Plex Media Server, we're currently running that. iTunes, I'm currently running that locally. DaVinci Resolve, I'm currently experimenting with and learning how to use DaVinci Resolve, hopefully for future video editing so I can provide better content for you guys. I'm actually trying to get back into video editing, and I've moved away from VideoPad because VideoPad sucks, and I've had issues in the past with VideoPad and other and other video editing software that I've used on Windows where I've had issues such as the audio coming out of sync from the video and stuff like that, but I'm not going to get into that too much in this video. Nextcloud, we are not hosting that currently, but that's going to be the next major service that I start hosting. Skipping over, I do not host any Discord bots currently, but I intend to start hosting some Discord bots pretty soon. As I said before, I'm not going to really stop for too long on this. GOG, I guess I can talk about a little bit. GOG is they're currently getting ready to start a beta test, I think, for GOG Galaxy 2.0. I guess I could pull that up because I think you guys will find that interesting if you haven't already seen it. Yeah, here we go. So here's the webpage for GOG Galaxy 2 beta, and I am not affiliated with GOG Galaxy by any means, but I just thought that you guys might be interested. But here's the page for it, because that's going to be one of the things I really want to get on my next workstation. But here's their blog post, I think. Yeah, here we go. So I'm going to put this in the description as well when the time comes, because I'm sure that you guys will be interested. And there's like 1,000 comments on that, so I guess you guys can get to that in your own time. But long story short, that's one of the things I intend to have on my new workstation, so that I don't have to deal with a bunch of game launchers. Because currently, this is a side note, this workstation is also my gaming rig, and I think I have like 3 or 4 different game launchers installed on this thing, which is hectic. I have Steam, which is my primary one. I have Origin. I have, I think Uplay related to Origin. Uplay, Origin, Epic Game Store, which sucks. Yeah, like 3 or 4 different game launchers installed on this thing, and GOG Galaxy would definitely make managing my games a lot easier because I wouldn't have to go through as many hoops to manage things. Aside from that, the rest of this you can just read by pausing the video, and if you have questions about it, ask. Speaking of which, I'm going to look at... Ooh, we have a lot of new comments now. Yes, GLMD Greed. He's not saying what he's doing for a living. Of course I'm not going to say what I'm doing for a living. That's private information, GLMD Greelson. Move sign? Okay. Oh, so basically a cloud server provider. Yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing. It's going to be providing services for both me and you, the user. Some of the services that I'm going to be using are going to be like, if I remember correctly, Moonlight game streaming, Yeah, Moonlight game streaming is going to be primarily used on my Windows VM for gaming. JLMD Grillson. Space! Yeah, that's... Aha. But anyway, if you guys don't have any other questions, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to the next point. Where was I? Yeah. Since I'm working at least 3 to 5 days a week, I can't really live stream as often as I used to, especially since it's primarily like 8-hour work days. And also I currently work during weekends. So that kind of decreases the amount of free time that I have, because during weekdays I'm actually handling administrative tasks like planning out things for like loan repayment and stuff like that, and also corresponding with other important people related to the previous things I mentioned in the list, appointments and stuff like that, and also employer management. So yeah, a lot of important stuff happening soon. And speaking of all of those services, we are currently hosting a soft Ether VPN service that is going to be used for initial hosting of these services on the current workstation. So until we get the new workstation, most of our services are going to be provided through this VPN service, which technically puts us in another closed beta, because the VPN is going to be for a limited sized pool of users. It is not a public beta, it is a private beta, because we're pretty much starting over again. TXP Cloud is being rewritten from the ground up. TXP Go is going to be going through its own development and debugging as well. And all that's going to be hosted from this VPN for security reasons, because the VPN provides encryption and stuff like that, and all of these other goodies. And if you're interested, what you're going to want to do is look up Soft Ether VPN and just look into its features for yourself, and you'll see what I mean. It's really good, especially for bypassing firewalls and stuff like that. And for all I know, in the near future, I might even open up use of this VPN to multiple users to bypass firewalls, possibly. But I'm not really going to get into the details about that, because I'm not sure yet of if or when we're going to do that. I think I've already gone over that. Oh yeah, and last point on, I guess, software development. TXP VOS is still live, but needs a heavy extension, since I'm going to be working on developing and initializing other services again that used to be online but are now not online. They are currently offline. So development on this is going to be postponed until we get everything working again for our websites. And as the last business point, yes, I am currently considering becoming a business. Here's our business description. Pause whenever you like. The link to this will be in the video description. I'm not going to read this out loud. But everything listed here is connected to Project Personal Data Center. So anything that's listed here might actually end up being hosted on that new workstation when the time comes. Since we have such a limited user base, it shouldn't really be an issue. I'm not expecting like a flood of users to come in anyway. Aside from that, as I said before, a lot of this stuff's just going to be funded by money that I make, so things are going to be pretty slow around here since I'm still paying off a college loan. And that's going to be going for at least like the next 10 years. So don't expect many major changes. Oh, on a side note, we have a public watch later playlist. I've been posting this on LTT forums now for a while, but I haven't really said anything about it on YouTube. So I'm just going to go in and put a link to that in the description as well, possibly. And the last 2 points I'm going to discuss. We currently have 2 mod packs in development. FIIK and Dynamic Nature, which are both due for major updates this month on CurseForge. And in addition to CurseForge, if the new workstation starts early enough, if the new workstation comes into being early enough, I can start hosting the files for these 2 new mod packs on the workstation instead of hosting on CurseForge. Which is great, because it might make things easier on you guys, depending on the issues you've been seeing with CurseForge recently. And I might finally be able to start hosting things on the Technic platform, if I remember correctly. I think the Technic platform actually requires that you can host the files yourself. Or, yeah, it requires file hosting. And I'm not going to get into details about that. But hosting it on our own platform will make things a lot easier. In addition to that, we're also planning on hosting servers for those mod packs in a few months if the VPN works out, in addition to possibly other gaming servers. Let's look at the YouTube live chats again. Oh, movie sign. Movie night. Yeah. Movie night's going to be hosted from Plex. So if you don't already have a Plex account, get it. We are currently hosting a Plex server, and like maybe every 2 weeks or maybe on a monthly basis, we'll just try to host either anime or movies. And if you're interested, please join our Discord server. And what you'll see is that we actually have multiple channels dedicated to this video production and editing and stuff like that. GLMD Griddleson says that's 100 characters, limited user base. That's using it. Okay, that's mean. GLMD Griddleson, that's putting it kind of lightly. Okay, yeah. So I think we've answered those last few questions. But for the rest of you users out there who haven't caught up with the video yet, first of all, GLMD Griddleson is one of our live stream moderators, and he's currently on our server. So if you want to meet him, go join the Discord server. He's not that bad of a person. He's cool. He doesn't bite often. And on top of that, he also helps with managing some of our other services as well. I recently gave ownership of my GitHub to him because we don't even use the GitHub anymore. So it's really just a historic archive. And it's currently the replacement for TXP Archivist because TXP Archivist is where we used to host all of our old projects. But due to our web host going down, TXP Archivist is gone as well. So we're going to have to get that going, possibly as an extension of TXP Cloud pretty soon, whenever we get the new workstation. Last questions that we have for you, the viewers. Should we try hosting an email service for you guys? And also, should we keep the current domain? I'm thinking that we should, but I've been seeing other people online suggesting getting a .tech domain. So if you want to talk about that in the comments, go for it. I won't stop you. Anyway, folks, I think that's going to do it for our live stream today. I hope you enjoyed the video. And maybe I can get a gaming video up sometime later this day, right? Or maybe I can do a video where I'm just sitting online, just live, updating the 2 mod packs. Maybe I can do that if you're interested, if you want to see me update the mod packs and do extensive testing. But anyway, that is it for at least this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you are new here, please consider subscribing and leaving a like on the video. If you liked the video, leave a like. If you didn't like that video, you know what to do. The dislike button works too, even though it kind of hurts. If you are not new here and are a regular subscriber, please stay subscribed for new updates. We are currently trying to push for 100 subscribers, but I'm not expecting to reach that anytime soon. But hey, people like me can dream. Anyway, if you're not new here, please stick around for new videos. We are planning on playing Destiny 2 sometime very soon. Hopefully I can get a few new games in our Steam library since the Steam Summer Sale is on, right? If you guys haven't been paying attention or if you're under a rock, Steam Summer Sale is awesome, right? New games at cheap prices. I am not endorsed by Steam in any way. I'm just saying if you want to get cheap games, the Steam Summer Sale is actually a pretty good option. Anyway, for any new people here, welcome to the galaxy, and I hope to see you in the next video. This is TXP, aka TopHat Productions 115, signing out. Peace.